Hello, everybody. I am so sorry I'm late. It was not me, it was this stupid Be Live system. And definitely, I'm going to send them a message because for some reason they decided that I couldn't use the setup I had before. And so then I had to go in and reset it up. But setting it up is not easy. So I'm a little frustrated. Anyway, I'm going to pretend like that didn't happen and get going on what I really wanted to talk to you about this evening, which is making rhubarb. So this weekend, I was so lucky because one of the girls who came to my special event on Sunday morning is Cindy Dumoulin. And Cindy has masses of rhubarb at her place. And every year, I think probably for the last 4 years, Cindy has given me some rhubarb. So what I like to do is make it into rhubarb and strawberry pie filling because it makes for delicious pies, and then I haven't made fruit pies for a long time, so it might be time to make pastry again. And also I can make strawberry and rhubarb because I have some strawberries that really are not that good. Yes, thank you, Ingrid. I will put the jar out. So let me put the jar there. I don't want the jar right in the middle of me though, so we'll put it just there for now. And now I'm back in my normal spot, so I don't have the bright windows behind me. So that should make it easier for you guys. So this is just some of the rhubarb I have. And so basically what I'm going to do is cut it up and put it into the base of my stack cooker. So first of all, I'm going to cut off the pieces I don't need. And it doesn't need to be cut terribly small because I'm sure you all know that when you cook rhubarb, it goes all stringy. And you want it to be nice and stringy and nice and soft. So what you have to do basically is cook it. Now, the first time I ever cooked rhubarb, and I had a recipe, and I'm going to use the same idea today. I was shocked about how much little liquid you had to add into it. But of course, that's because it has so much liquid in it already. So let's see if we can be a bit more efficient about cutting these pieces. So I'll try and cut maybe 2 pieces together. You like raw? Oh, yes, actually, people told me that they eat raw rhubarb with salt. It's pretty tart though, isn't it?
With sugar.
No, with salt. Tammy, you've never eaten rhubarb? Oh my goodness. Well, I remember when I was little, and sometimes you would go to. Alan says I still am little. I am little in size, but not in age. I used to go to my aunt's house, and she must have had a great big rhubarb plant in her backyard, because whenever we went there, we would get rhubarb pie or something. But unfortunately, she wasn't so good at cooking it, because I don't know, have you ever had rhubarb and it makes your cheeks go like that because it's not sweet enough? So Tammy, if you have some rhubarb, you need to make sure you make it sweet enough. So yes, no, I can't imagine rhubarb with salt. But Ingrid, you're usually pretty good with all this cooking stuff. So maybe I'll give it a try and let you know what I think. It's probably like me, though, when I tell everybody they should eat Vegemite, and then when they try it, they hate it. So just because you like something, it does not mean that everybody else will like it. that's for sure. So rhubarb is a fairly stringy. She grew a lot of rhubarb. Yeah, I know. I can tell you that probably it's only since I've known Cindy that I've started to actually cook my own rhubarb. Um, I always thought there was some mystery to cooking it, but actually it's super simple. Okay, I think I'm just going to put, am I, am I right in thinking, like those of you that know, the red rhubarb sticks are the ones that are the most ripe, I think. I'm not sure, but it seems to make sense to me. So if you were doing your salt thing, um, Ingrid, are there certain rhubarbs that you would avoid? Like, do you look for a particular color? So anyway, it's fun. It's fun thinking about it. Now, in my recipe, it said 6 cups of rhubarb and 1 cup of sugar. So I'm pretty sure that I've got more than 6 cups of rhubarb here. But let's have a look and see how much. Because it's pretty hard to measure it, but I'm going to tell you that it is possible. Yeah, but you know, you don't need to cut it with the chopper because it disintegrates while it's cooking. So it's not really the red. The red's the best. That's what I figured. Okay, so that's 1 cup. So I'm just going to see how many cups I have here because it could be that I need more, which is great. I'm going to say I've got 4 cups in here. So I'm going to do 2 more cups. Yeah, that's the beauty of rhubarb is that when you cook it, it goes down into quite a shrunk format. So I'm glad Ingrid told me about the red because that's what I'm focusing on. Because there was a little bit of green in the bag, and so I tended to ignore that. But there are some more reds there, so I might have to get another one of those. Okay. So I think I'm going to cut the end off this one and use this. It's not too bad. So it's a very funny fruit. I'm not sure if it's a fruit. It must be some sort of root vegetable, I think. Okay, so I've got a nice full lot there. And I'm going to get my sugar. And it says 6 cups of rhubarb. Hello, Darcy. Good to see you, love. And I'm going to add in 1 cup of sugar. So, oops, I spilt a bit there. So we'll put the 1 cup of sugar. Now, obviously, if you don't want it to be as sweet as this, you can use less sugar. But my experience with rhubarb is if you don't make it sweet enough, it can be quite horrible. And then you'll say, ooh, I hate rhubarb. I need just 2 tablespoons of water. I'll just take this over to the tap. Okay, so there we have our rhubarb. Now, in my recipe, it said to cook it on the stovetop slowly so that the rhubarb began to break down and then, you know, once it's completely broken down and it's soft, it's cooked. So I know, because I've done it a few times now in my stack cooker, then I can do it in my stack cooker. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook it at 60% power. So it's sort of simmering. But what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to cook it for might be two. I'm going to do 2 minutes at 80% power. Then we'll have a look at it, and then I'll put it back in for longer on 60% power. You have some rhubarb. You chop some. Oh, that sounds good. Okay, so I was looking in my fridge, and I noticed that I have some strawberries. So, and some of these strawberries are looking a bit sad. Some are okay. So I'm going to pick out some of these strawberries. These ones these ones are 2 weeks old, and they must have been in pretty good nick when I got them, because they're still quite good, most of them. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. But then I also had some strawberries last week. And I mean, these ones, they look okay, but Alan is not gonna be able to eat his way through these before they become not okay. So what I'm gonna do is take out a few of them so that there's just a few left for him, because he's the only one that eats them. He eats them on his cereal. So now he's got a few left, which he will be able to last. You have lots of rhubarb, and you've been sharing with many friends. Time to put some in my freezer. Yeah, and that's what you have to do. So I've got my strawberries. Now these I am not going to add sugar to, because I'll get the sugar from the rhubarb. And well, let's have a look and see what's happened to it after 2 minutes at 80% power. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, it's not even that hot yet, which probably means not much has happened, right? So they're still at the stage where they're going to break down. Okay, so now I'm going to put them in for another 2 minutes at 80%. Let's see what happens. Okay, and what I need, of course, is when it's all done, I need to put them in my freezer mates, because I'm basically making rhubarb pie filling, if you like. So, and while we're waiting for that, I've got a little doggy here who's looking like, you haven't fed me yet. What's going on? So let's get his food out of the pantry. And Killian has 1/4 of a cup of this. You can see I take the whole lid off. It's easier. I find it easier to use it that way. And we'll go and put this in his bowl so he'll be happy. Here you go, Killian. There you go, mate. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to cut up a little bit more rhubarb and put it straight in here. so that I'm going to have some strawberry and rhubarb as well. So I really, really like rhubarb, but I know there are a lot of people that don't like it at all. But it's super cheap, guys, especially if you have nice friends like Sharon who can give you some, and I have Cindy who always supplies me. So that's really good. Okay, let's have a look and see whether it started to break down now. Okay, it's getting a bit hotter. So yeah, it's starting to go mushy, guys. I can see that, yes. So see, it's squidgy. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on for 5 minutes at 60% power. And it really is self, how can I describe it? Self-sourcing. So it has so much liquid in it that you don't have to add much water into it. Or hardly any water. No, you would not like this, Kelly. I don't think Kelly could cope with rhubarb. So when you put it in your freezer, Sharon, I'm curious, do you just put it in your freezer raw, or do you make a rhubarb like pie mix when you put it in your freezer? No, Kelly, this is not for you. Anybody else cook rhubarb? So Ingrid, she tells us she eats rhubarb raw with a bit of salt. But do you cook it as well, Ingrid? And when you put it in your shortbread cookies, I'm curious, Darcy, do you sugar them first, raw and cut into small pieces? Okay. And when you put it into your cookies, Darcy, how do you incorporate it? Do you chop it and put little pieces? Do you add sugar? Okay, I think I'll just do one more big stick. You can actually feel which bits are the most ripe because they're easier to cut. Okay, so this will do me. So what I'm going to do with this is add in some more sugar. Hi, we are making rhubarb today, Kim, because I had a friend that came over and I did a team event at the weekend. And a friend came over and she bought me some big sticks of rhubarb. And so I've got one batch of rhubarb cooking in the microwave, and this is a batch of rhubarb with strawberries. So I'm just going to add the 2 tablespoons of water. So I now have a second batch ready to go as soon as the first batch. And I'm just experimenting with the time. I make a rhubarb filling every year. And okay, I'm going to have to go to my basement, guys, and get some. Oh, I have one here. I need some more of these from my shop downstairs. because I love, this is the size I use. Because then I can use it in my breakfast maker. If I need more, I can take 2 of them out and use it for my Ultra Pros. But I know why this one is here, because I was having difficulty yesterday getting the lid on. Oh, there we go. So there we go. It's all in the technique. So when my batch of rhubarb is fully cooked and tasty, then I'm going to wait for it to cool down, and I will be putting lots of it in here, and of course labeling it, and I'm going to have some containers with rhubarb and strawberries. So this week, I'm sure one day this week, I am going to make some little pies. So I'll be making pastry with my Supersonic, because that's something I haven't done for a while. And we can have, I've got actually a friend from Australia is coming in on Thursday, and we're going to have a dinner at home with some of the family. And so maybe I'll do something. I think I'll do a crumble for that, though, not pies. Okay, so I'm going to show people. This still is on its way to being cooked. But can you see in there how the stringy bits are stringing now? Let me get my spoon. I actually find it quite magic how rhubarb cooks. So what I've got is some of it is cooked. Can you see all the liquid it's created as well? So there's like quite a syrup now. Oh, this is going to be so good. So what I'm going to do now is put this back in. It's nice and hot now. By cooking it at 60%, I'm sort of simmering it. So you simmer it on the stovetop. If you were doing it on the stovetop, you would probably simmer it somewhere between 12 and 15 minutes to get all of your rhubarb to break down. So now I'm going to put it back in at 60% for another 4 minutes. And at the end of that time, I'm pretty sure my rhubarb is going to be ready. And then I'll put in my next batch, which has my strawberries in too. So it's pretty fun, and I love things when I can make them work in my microwave. So I'm not going to keep you any longer, guys. I'll post some photos. I'll post some in my in here. And I think, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take some photos now, a little bit of video, and I think I might try and make a reel out of stewing rhubarb. So have yourselves a good, you use the amount called for in our favorite recipe that we like to have in the winter. It's a mix of rhubarb and strawberries that's cooked together and then topped with, that sounds good. You might try it in the stack cooker. The trouble with the breakfast maker is you can't make enough probably if you're doing that, but I really love the flavor of the strawberries and the rhubarb together as well. So I think this is going to become a mix for rhubarb and strawberry crumble on Thursday when my visitor is here. And I know that my kids, they love crumbles, so that's not a problem. I would make pastry, but you got to make so much pastry to make little pies for everybody. No, I won't have time to do that this week. So that's it from me. Oh yes, Cindy, it's time for me to make a rhubarb cake. It is definitely being used and loved, Cindy. I've got one batch in the microwave and a second batch that has strawberries in as well. ready to go in. So I'm going to be well stocked up. So yes, I know I got to do the jar. Now, what you win this week, if you win the jar, you will win a number 2 oval, which you can take from me for just $5. So it's your choice. You don't have to take it, but it's a bargain for you should you decide to take it. And you can't take it by just writing in the comments. You need to let me know by email that you are taking it. So if you're buying other things from me as well, I can put them all together. So let's do the draw today. Let's pull the jar over here in the middle, and we will get a winner. Ingrid, it's you. You get the winners. So just make sure, Ingrid, that you keep track of it and let me know. Melanie, I won the draw for the $5 number 2 oval on June the whatever day we are, the 5th today. So I don't know if I've told you this, guys, but my daughter, I think you know that my daughter, Violet, is transgendering. And she has been going through this process for many, many years. And, you know, in Canada, as in most of the rest of the world, transgender people are treated under psychiatrists. And you have to go through many, and probably, you know, it's not such a bad thing. They have to go through many interviews and stuff. And at the beginning of this year, she was accepted for the gender assignation surgery. And she is coming to Montreal on Saturday, and her surgery is next week. So it's going to be, you know, Montreal is the only place in the whole of Canada that does the surgery. So if you find I'm a bit emotional over the next few couple of weeks, it's because I'm helping Violet through this. And of course, as a family, we fully support her. And I'm so excited for her that this is finally happening. So it is going to be an interesting couple of weeks. And, you know, for Violet, obviously, it is a step where she will no longer have to feel awful about herself and her body. And anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. So if you find that I'm a bit up and down in the next couple of weeks, that will probably explain it. Okay, you know what? The rhubarb's finished. Let's get it out. Oh, yes. It is Stringy Delight. I love it. I love the way this works all the time. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Julie. So look at this, guys. Those of you that have never seen rhubarb, look how beautifully it breaks down. And even the pieces that seem to be still pieces, as soon as I touch them, guys, they turn into, this is going to make delicious rhubarb pies and crumbles. And is this how you use it in a cake, Cindy, or do you just put raw rhubarb in a cake? I'm going to have to look up rhubarb cake and see what the recipe is. Wow. So Tammy, there you go. There's your first look at cooked rhubarb. And I'm going to progress now onto my next one, which is the rhubarb and strawberry. And I'll keep you up to date with that, with photos, and maybe I'll be able to make a reel. Haven't made a reel for a while, so it's about time. So thank you, guys. Have a great evening, everybody. And I will be talking to you, of course, at Live Up 5 tomorrow. I love you guys, and thank you very much. Bye for now.